Namaste and welcome to the Curvy Yogini Spotlight. Today we have with us Tameeka Wyndon. Hi, Tameeka.
Hi, Dana.
It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed. So, can you tell us, how did your yoga journey begin? When did it begin?
Well, yoga became a part of my life about 5 years ago when I made a few transitions with my job, with my home life, and my children, and relationships. I divorced. I started new work. I lost a lot of weight, and just transitioned into the place where I was a lot more reflective, looking for Tameeka, the place that made me peaceful. And yoga was presented to me by a coworker, actually, a person who was studying Ayurveda, and I just felt like it was home. It was the thing that I was missing for a very long time. It just felt so natural for me. So that's where it started.
It's so interesting. I always say that for me, my practice brings me back home. It brings me back like to my natural self, my happy self, my less stressed self. So that really speaks to me.
Yes, yes.
So was it the change that you were going through that inspired you to practice yoga, or was it just something else? Well, what keeps you coming back?
I think that it is the constancy of wanting to feel that place of peace, that place that feels like it's just me connecting with myself in a way that I probably wasn't familiar with when I was younger, but as I've gotten older and just having life happen, I found that I needed something that would center me, would take me to a place of comfort, but knowing who I really am. And I feel like yoga has done that for me. I feel like it allows me to elongate myself, not just physically, but spiritually. I feel like I'm crossing new heights, reaching new heights and crossing new bridges with yoga. It's been, like I said, a 5-year journey that hasn't always been consistent, but because it calls out to me, something that I know that I need, so I heed that call.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of people watching the interview, that's going to really be helpful for them, because some of us, we have a problem with consistency in the beginning, but life comes up. But,
right.
We can keep going back to it. We can keep going back to it. And yoga is always there, I say. It's always there to support us. It's always there to get us back in line with what we say we want in life, our happiness, our joy, and all of those things.
Yes, I agree.
How often do you practice?
A couple days a week in a studio, in a local studio, not as close to home as I would like it. But I found that me wanting to have more time at home and not necessarily being able to travel, building my home practice has become more important to me. And just setting up the space in my little haven, which is my room, where it's quiet and my mat is always laid out. And when it's not laid out, it's in this corner, and it's the space that just reminds me this is for you. And a place to meditate, a place to practice yoga. So I would say, like, now I get a good 3 days in. I would like to do much more. I would love for it to be like breathing, like waking up, sitting up on the side of the bed and just going into a sauna, giving the sun salutation to start my day. I would prefer to do that. I do not always think of it, but I want that to become a natural part of how I live.
And I think that we all hold yoga in our hearts, and the asana practice, it's important, but as long as we have it kind of in the heart and in the mind, I think that that's, really beneficial. I think that makes a difference. And I think that that's what helps to keep us all coming back to it. My practices are like really, I call them like little tidbits, little bite-sized practices, because, having children, when you get up and they hear you moving, they're going to want something. So it's like 10, 15 minutes. Is it that great hour practice? No, but it's something. And I think that that's key is, we get it in when we can, but we always keep it in our heart and in our mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I find that you're right. A few tidbits here and there throughout the day, even I think about it during my work day. And so I have, I'm fortunate to be able to stop, get away from my desk for a moment and go in the two middle offices between me and stretch. And, downward dog feels good, especially when you've been sitting for a long time during the day. And so just get away, like maybe a couple minutes there and just breathe, and just get into a pose and, all right, I can keep going on. So, yeah, I do feel fortunate to be able to have that.
Awesome. So how does yoga help you to love and celebrate your body?
Wow. I am very aware of the little feelings, little sounds. As I get older, I'm in the 40 club right now. So, and having had children, I have 5 children. So, it's something that allows me to remember certain positions that I've been in, giving birth and, just having the ability to do a pose or look at my body transposed from one motion to the other. I'm able to look at myself and say, wow, okay, you're still all right. You can still be this beautiful, healthy, curvy woman, and that I celebrate myself in that sense. It's simple. It's not something elaborate, but to me, I find that it allows me to appreciate myself all the more.
Awesome. And, that too speaks to me. That too speaks to me because when you can do things with your body that you never thought possible, it makes you go, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So what is your favorite asana and why?
My favorite is the triangle pose variation because I feel comfortable in stretching and, as I said, elongating. My legs are probably my favorite part of my body because I think I realize what my legs do for me, getting me to and fro and carrying me from one place to the next. And so I give them more attention, and because of that, triangle pose allows me to just stretch and push myself even harder. I feel like I'm giving something from my body to the earth or the place where I'm standing. It just feels really good. I'm massaging my internal organs as I do the turns, and it just feels really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, triangle pose, it wakes up those legs and those shoulders too. So, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So, asana practice is important, but meditation practice is just equally as important as it, pertains to yoga. Do you meditate? And if you do, what does your meditation practice look like?
It is waking up and opening my eyes and purposely just being still. That's the start of my meditation practice. But then I rise up and I don't rush or hurry to get out of the bed or off of the bed, but I sit and I purposely position myself, with the posture of respect and just wanting a quiet moment to quiet my mental chatter, because it's consistent, it's ongoing. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about what's going to happen the next day or what I need to do the next day. But my meditation time, it's throughout the day. I allow myself to still a few moments here and there and just get still, just be quiet and just be. Closing all the shades in my office and closing the door and just breathing, I want to expand on that and allow myself the luxury of quiet. And it sounds weird, I would say, that quietness is a luxury. I look at it that way because life in and of itself is ever moving, and there's all these different noises and people and things happening, and so just for me, what it looks like is a few minutes here and there, definitely first thing in the morning, but throughout the day, because I come across, as many of us do, I come across so many different instances and situations where, I need to be aware. I need to be a lot more self-aware. And so I feel like I only serve and give myself best when I've had that quiet time, when I've been allowed to be still for a moment, and just take things in and release as well.
Yeah. There's a saying, I think it's like silence is golden. And as I grew older and have my beautiful children and got so much noise and love and energy in the house, I'm like, silence is golden. It really is, because it gives you that time to reflect. It is another way to connect to what your true joy and your true happiness is, because every day we just got so much noise, just so many things going on at once. But to be able to spend some quiet time, it is truly a gift. It is truly a gift. And, as a mom, it is a luxury.
Yes, I know.
Good. So, how do you take your yoga off the mat? How do you take those things that you've learned about your body, those things that have come up for you emotionally or mentally on the mat? How do you take positive lessons out into your life?
Well, I will have to say that, my work definitely puts me in front of people and situations daily and throughout the day that require me, again, I look at myself as a servant. I look at myself as I'm here for whatever the cause is that is presented to me at that day, at any given time. And so because of that, yoga stays with me in the sense that, again, self-awareness, where is my mood? Where is my attitude? How do I look to this person right now? The facial expressions that I have tell a lot for me. I'm not one who hides that very well. So it's just me remembering or being in the awareness of, this person or this situation that is in front of me right now deserves all of me. And that's how I feel right now. I'm able to give my best, practice of yoga away from the mat, away from the asana.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And too, it's just wonderful how you can work life out on your mat. How you can just take whatever you have going on and just work it out. And even though we're moving our bodies, we're breathing and we're meditating, it's so symbolic of how we carry ourselves off the mat. So just remembering, if I was able to work through that pose, or if I was able to hold my triangle, even though I was tired and my hamstrings were screaming at me, I was able to hold it. So I'm stronger than I think. Right. I'm stronger than I give myself credit for. I have staying power. So, yes, wonderful. Yeah. So yoga is about service to ourselves. And I think that the more that we do yoga and get ourselves together, the greater impact that we have on our relationships, and then that continues. Are you involved in any community service efforts, any seva?
The things that I am involved in right now in terms of community service, it kind of is a stretch or attached to the work that I do. I work in education, so I'm afforded the opportunity to see different causes and different organizations come across my path regularly. One in particular has to do with the plight of African American males and me helping them, now that I'm aware, of what goes on, especially in public education, helping them become more attuned to how to reach their personal goals and their academic goals. Because for me, I don't know if it's because I have sons. I have 3 male boys right now, that it's just close to my heart, as well as seeing the young men that go to school, within my job. And so it's giving my time to help mentor or counsel or work with the student and the parents to find out what is best for that student based on their personal drive, their personal desires for their future, helping parents to navigate through the educational system. That is what I do away from, even from work. So, again, I have all teens and adults at this point, but that kind of bridged me, to that cause, being in education and working with young men. I'm finding it is my passion. I want to see their faces light up from their own success, from their own aha moments about, this is what I really am put on this earth for, helping them achieve that through, finding resources for them for education, finding out, how to link them up with other services and agencies that will assist them. And the parents, the big part, them not knowing how to do that for their child. I like what I feel like at the end of the day when I'm able to help them be relieved of some of those concerns. So that's my community service.
That's awesome. So needed. Addressing not just the children, but the parents as well. It's so needed. And, it's amazing because that, too, is linked to the yogic path where, we see the light in ourselves and then we want to see the light in others. Absolutely. So for those, community service doesn't have to mean doing it on a large scale or even working with an organization. It just means that you're trying to impart some type of inspiration to a group that may not have access to it. So for those that are watching, we got a lot of beautiful people in the circle. Share your inspiration, share your joys and encourage other people to seek and find their own. Good. So you're inspiring people through your work. Who inspires you?
Wow, I like this question when I saw it. I am always astonished by women who seem to exude balance. So when I saw your first post, and actually, of course, I saw you on Facebook, but I saw your post and I thought, oh my goodness, this speaks to me loudly. And then just in my walk of life, just meeting women and not even having to connect with them one-to-one, but just watching them, seeing them. I'm very inspired by the power that we wield, even in our softness and our kindness, but very effective. I love to see the effects that we have on our world, no matter who we are addressing or servicing. Women that have the sense of how to be herself and her ability to be a wife and a mom and, a teacher or a student. It excites me to see how many hats we have to wear. But the ability to do it and still keep your cool, keep your sense of self, maintaining that balance. It does a lot for me. It makes me check myself and say, you don't have to come undone about something that is outside of your control or your reach. And I appreciate yoga for that because, again, coming back to the center, coming back to square one and remembering don't try to go so far out of your own lane that, you become stretched out or uncomfortable, maintain that balance. And that is very inspiring to me.
And, I love the word balance because I had to learn that several times, in several ways, in several stages in my life. But what I realized in my quest to remain balanced is that I can't do it all. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to take a break. So, those are the things.
Yes,
Those three things, because if we're in balance, we can do better for other people. So we can't,
absolutely.
we can't be of service to anyone if we're not being of service to ourselves first, and that's where balance comes into play.
Yes.
So Tamika, where's your yoga home?
My yoga home right now is at home. I live in, as I said, in Riverside, California. But I enjoy the studio experience. That was my first, the introduction of yoga to my life happened in the studio, the yoga studio. So I've frequented a few of Bikram yoga and Vinyasa yoga. I my most recent home studio is in Redlands, California. Inner Evolution Yoga. It's a quaint little place, but it's perfect for me. I always feel like I'm the beginner, even though once I get into the class and I'm there and the instructor, walks around the room, she's like, you really are stronger than you think you are. You're doing a
Right.
little bit more. You probably should be up here with me. I'm like, oh, no. I really know I've grown, but at the same time, the studio experience is my favorite, and I think I love being in the hot yoga room. That's probably where I got a little spoiled at with yoga, and
Right.
so coming into my house and trying to emulate that was a little
Right.
challenging. I can't make folks uncomfortable at home,
Right.
but
Right.
so, but if I had a preference, it would be in the studio. However, I find that getting on the mat at home has helped me just overall because, again, being grounded and being centered and not thinking the experience has to stop or end when I walk outside of the studio door. I need to carry it with me, the physicality of it. I feel my posture. I feel the way that my feet hit the ground or, curve the ground as I walk or as I pace. I feel my gait, you know what I mean? So I believe that, the home of yoga is definitely with me now. That is my home. It's with me. My yoga home is with me.
Awesome. And then finally, thank you so much. Just answer one more question for me. I love my curves because.
I love my curves because my curves represent the softness and the nurturing of who I am, what I am, as a woman, as a mother, of course, not just to my five, but to those children that cross paths with me, who need a little love, a little care, that they may not have on a regular basis. But these curves remind me that I offer that, that I welcome the call for nurturing.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Well, Tamika, it has truly been an inspiring time with you today. I want to thank you so much for honoring us with this time and your story and your wisdom and your beauty. So I want you to have a beautiful day, and to everyone that took the time to watch the interview, thank you so much. You can follow us on Facebook at Yes Yoga Has Curves, and you can find us online at YesYogaHasCurves.com. The book is coming out June 23rd. Time is flying. I'm excited. It's been a process, but yoga kept me balanced. Well, thank you
Excellent.
again, Tamika. And
No,
it's been a pleasure. Namaste.